This is a pick that I was absolutely begging for the Carolina Panthers to invest in a weapon for Bryce Young to help him grow. And they get the wide receiver that was considered to be a top 5 prospect and the wide receiver 1 for so long, Tet McMillan out of Arizona. And this is a big playmaker for Bryce Young and the type of playmaker that is going to help him take a step in the right direction and continue to grow in the way that we saw towards the end of last season when he was a top 10 quarterback the last 3 weeks of the year. The Carolina Panthers spent all offseason trying to do something to their defense to give them a competitive edge. They didn't really look at the offensive side of the ball, and people wanted them to keep going defense. But I was like, I would love to see a wide receiver here, and Tet McMillan ends up being the guy. This is great news for McMillan and for Bryce Young. Tet McMillan has some of the best short area quickness and burst of any wide receiver in this draft, and he consistently wins at the point of contact with an NFL wide receiver body. People were worried about his straight line speed. His 40 was not nearly as fast as what a lot of people really wanted to see, and his breakaway speed is something that he's not really going to use to his advantage here at the NFL level. Separation down the field is going to be something that may lack because of that. But going up and getting the ball against one-on-one opponents is definitely going to be something that Tet McMillan can do on a consistent basis. But this is what I absolutely love the way Carolina is set up. Tet McMillan doesn't have to be that guy. McMillan can win all over the field, especially on intermediate routes. He lacks some of that top end speed and separation ability, but makes up for it by dominating at the high point of all of those catches. But when you take a look at the way this roster is constructed, Xavier Legette, he can be the downfield guy. So if Legette can be the downfield guy, Adam Thielen will work out of the slot, and Tet McMillan can do all the rest of it, Bryce Young is going to have a ton of weapons around him to really take a step in the right direction moving forward and continue to grow as an NFL quarterback. And Tet McMillan can be the wide receiver 1 on this team right away. I have no doubt about that. And if Bryce Young continues to show us a lot of what we saw towards the end of last season, then you better be willing to bet that Tet McMillan could find himself inside the top 12 wide receivers every now and then. More than likely, he's going to be a much safer wide receiver too. I don't see a ton of huge games out of him, but he could be a guy that consistently in PPR leagues puts up a decent amount of points that you could play him as a wide receiver 2 every week and feel pretty good about what his floor is. Scoring touchdowns may end up being a little bit of a concern. I'm not sure if he'll be the type of red zone threat that we would like to see in year 1, but seeing a guy go for 800 yards, 4 touchdowns, and a decent amount of catches could end up being just enough that in certain leagues we could play him with no issues. And adding another weapon is going to make Bryce Young a top 24 candidate. It's going to keep him in the potential for top 12 as well. And it's really going to help the run game. Now that we've got the Chuba Hubbard breakout all said and done, he can take another step forward this year and be a really safe RB2 for us once again.
Analytics, off the chain, all the channels, not the same. Jake and Kyle, you